If you've got any of the following Scarlet Violet base set cards in mint condition in your collection, please go and get them graded. If you think they'd get a 10, you could be sitting on an absolute gold mine. Well, from Evolving Liars to Chilling Pain, from Traumatic Evolutions to Tampon Forces, we talk about it all here at the Chase Card, and today I want to zero in on Scarlet and Violet base. This set is breaking all of my traditional foundational investing principles. That was a mouthful. When it comes to Pokemon investing, specifically booster boxes, you guys know I like to prioritize my investments in those sets that have the biggest, juiciest, most expensive chase cards. The top 10 chase cards in base set, Scarlet and Violet base, don't even add up to $300 in totality. So why the hell am I saying this is an underrated set? Why am I interested in this set? Why do I think it deserves more attention? Guys, I'm going to go through the top 10 most expensive PSA 10s from a Scarlet and Violet base, and I'm about to blow your mind. Okay guys, the 10th most expensive PSA 10 card from Scarlet and Violet base is this Wiglet. This one blows my mind. This is a $5 card raw. In a PSA 10, we're looking at $95 US. If we go back, this was $61 literally in December. It's gone up $30 odd. Just it hasn't been a ton of sales. There's not a lot of PSA 10s in circulation. The population is 47. There's 47 PSA 10s in circulation. The reason for that is it was a cheap card. People don't tend to grade cheap cards. Like we've got this card. I haven't opened many Scarlet and Violet base, but I've got this card laying around somewhere in one of my folders. I also have to find it and check if it's worth getting graded. Because in a 10, you're getting like 19 times its raw value. Yes, there are grading and postage costs, but guys, this card blows my mind. It doesn't even make the top 25 when it comes to raw values. But in a PSA 10, it makes the top 10. That's the 10th most expensive from Scarlet and Violet base. Guys, start looking at Scarlet and Violet base. The cards in 10s, some of them are really starting to move. We're going to get through them more now, guys. Here's the 9th one, this Miriam. Can you believe that? This is only 9th. This was the most expensive raw card from Scarlet and Violet base, and is now the 2nd most expensive raw card behind the Gardevoir. $129, call it $130 in a PSA 10. $30 raw. Guys, if you've got this card in mint condition, look at getting it graded. To me, this is one of the most undervalued cards and has a big runway in front of it from the entire Scarlet and Violet era. Like, this is a top 2 raw card from base set, Scarlet and Violet base, and it's $130 in a PSA 10. To me, that's too cheap. Could it go down 10 or 20 bucks again? Sure. Who knows, right? But if you like this card, if you're a fan of this card, I think it's an absolute steal at this price. And you guys know I don't generally recommend singles, but if you like this card, this is a steal at this price. It's got that Pikachu in the top corner. And again, the fact this is only 9th on this list when it comes to graded PSA 10s, it's only 9th. That's crazy, because this is like I said, this was the number 1 chase card originally from base set. If we look back here, it was sort of $90 around November. We're in like early February now, and it's $130. So it is on the way up, the PSA 10. The raw price is only $30, guys, so you can still pick this up quite cheap, raw, if you want to try and find one in mint condition with good centering, good edges, and all the criteria on the internet. If you can find a good one, it might be worth doing it that way. I still think even just buying a PSA 10 and eliminating the risk of getting a bad card is probably worth it. Just depends on where you get your singles. If you can find this, pick it up. If you've got it in your collection, get it graded. I think it's so undervalued. To put it in perspective, guys, here's the reverse hollow Snorlax from Rebel Clash. In a PSA 10 sells for more than that Miriam. That's how undervalued I think that Miriam is. This reverse hollow is going for more money. There's a population of 6. I just wanted to show that for comparison. Who the hell is grading a reverse hollow Snorlax from Rebel Clash? Let's close that off, guys. Next, Greavard, okay? This is the 8th most expensive PSA 10 from Scarlet and Violet base. This card is only, again, this is only a $6 card. $6. It's a nothing burger. But in a PSA 10, guys, it's $130. There's a population of 89 PSA 10s in existence. Now, if we look back here, again around October, this was $60 for a long time. Again, there's not a lot of sales because the population history on a lot of these cards is very low. So $60 all the way through September, October, November. And literally since Mid to late November, it's jumped from 60 to 130. It's more than doubled since late November in the last few months. Scarlet and Violet base is almost 2 years old now, and you know, when I hear other investors and collectors and everything talking about the Scarlet and Violet era, Scarlet and Violet base is always the last on everyone's list. There was a ton of it printed. It was printed into the ground. It's kind of everywhere. It's like, I think it's the cheapest booster box still from the Scarlet and Violet era. You know, people talk about the mid-tier sets even, like Stellar Crown and Paradox Rift, and getting those sets. And no one gives due attention to Scarlet and Violet base. I can't hear anybody talking this set up. Now, this set is an anomaly. It's the first silver borders set when we went from yellow borders to silver borders. And it's one of those sets that's defying the normal principles of investing in booster boxes, because these PSA 10s, really, they shouldn't be worth that much. But they are, because no one cared about this set. You can see the population reports on these cards are very low. Let's keep moving, guys. This Curlier, this is the 7th most expensive PSA 10. The 7th most expensive graded 10 from the Scarlet and Violet era. This thing's a $25 card. In a PSA 10, you're looking at $160, guys. It's like a 6x markup, 600% markup, something like that. 381 PSA 10s in existence, 1,092 PSA 9s. Obviously, much easier to get a 9 than a 10. So, you know, tread carefully there. If you think you've got a 10, go and get it graded. But obviously, it's a bit harder to get a 10 compared to a 9. And that's half the reason there's a premium for these 10s. Just looking here, it was $107 back in October. Again, there's a similar pattern with all of these guys, where sort of October, November, they were at their low and they started to spike. And now $160 from $107 a few months ago. Again, there's 381 PSA 10s, and that's the 7th most expensive PSA 10 from Scarlet and Violet base. Here's the Gardevoir. Now, some of these results are kind of going to surprise you guys, I think. This is the most expensive raw card from Scarlet and Violet base. But on this list, it's the 6th. On this list, it doesn't even make the top 5 when it comes to PSA 10 graded cards. That's crazy to me. That's insane. When you look at other sets, like, it doesn't make sense. This Gardevoir, $43, $44 raw, $44 to $50 raw, right? $170 in a PSA 10. Again, I think that's probably quite cheap for what this card is. It was $88. It was half the price, basically, back in October. Again, we're in early February now. It's $170. There's almost 3,500 PSA 10s, just under 3,000 PSA 9s. So obviously, if you pull this card, it seems like it's not as difficult to get a 10 compared to some of the other cards we're showing you. It's almost 50-50 with the 9s and 10s, almost. Slightly more 10s, actually. But yeah, that's crazy. The number 1 chase card in Scarlet and Violet base, when you get it graded, is actually the 6th most expensive. It's insane. It blows my mind. We're going to get into the top 5 now, guys. This list is honestly, I think it's going to surprise you. This Rylu, it's literally a $23, $24 card. In a PSA 10 is $196. Pardon me. Almost $200, guys, from a $23, $24 card. You're talking about, what's that, like a 800% markup to a PSA 10? You guys can do the numbers on that. Again, same pattern. Back in October, $90. It's put on $100. The PSA 10 has put on $100 in capital growth for this Rylu just since October, just in the last few months. So, guys, like, this idea that there's so much Scarlet and Violet base around, you know, it's cheap, I'll just leave that till last and I'll focus on Stellar Crown or Paradox Rift or whatever else you're focusing on. It's like, do not throw this set away. You're gonna kick yourself if you don't invest in this Scarlet and Violet base booster box. Again, this set kind of defies my typical principles, you know, my standard philosophy when it comes to investing, because the raw cards, the top 10 raw cards, are quite cheap, and that kind of defies what I normally talk about. So I look like a bit of a hypocrite now, but I always say, according as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. It's important to be malleable, to change along the way, to look out for opportunities when they present themselves. My investing philosophy is not one hard and fast black and white rule. So, and Scarlet and Violet base is proven to be the exception. You know what I mean? So, just keep that in mind, guys. For those people that cherry pick my videos and say, "Dude, you always say to invest in the strongest sets," like, why? Like, listen to what I'm saying when it comes to this set. it's just going to defy the odds this set. It's just one of those anomalies within the hobby, and I think everyone needs to get their hands on Scarlet and Violet base, even though it kind of defies my standard principles. Here's the fourth one, guys. Sorry, I'll skip back to that Rylu. There's 274 PSA 10s for that Rylu and 761 PSA 9s. Here's the fourth most expensive, the Ralts. This one's been getting a bit of attention on some videos I've seen, so people are starting to notice this one. This in a PSA 10 back in August was $111. It's now $266, guys, in a PSA 10. There's 290 PSA 10s and 1,150 PSA 9s. Again, obviously a lot harder to get a 10 versus a 9 with this particular card for whatever reason. Obviously the print quality for this card is just not coming out strong. $28 raw. So again, still a huge markup. That's almost a 10x markup, guys. That's almost a 1,000% markup from the raw price to the PSA 10 price. Insane. And that's the fourth most expensive PSA 10. This is going to blow your mind. This Armor Rouge. This card is $300 in a PSA 10. Raw, $11, $12, $13. Raw. This card raw doesn't even make Scarlet and Violet bases top 10. Doesn't even make the top 10. But as soon as you get it graded in a PSA 10, this card is the third most expensive card from base set. This is where you can make some profit, guys. If you can find this card in mint condition, or if you've got it in your collection, if you've pulled it, be very careful, man, because in a 9, it's almost worthless. In a 9, it's $25. You wouldn't recoup your grading costs. And there's 457 PSA 9s and only 79 PSA 10s. This card looks like it's very, very difficult to grade in a 10, hence the premium price tag. So yeah, guys, that's the third most expensive. Can you believe that? That Armor Rouge, again, it doesn't even make the top 10 when it comes to raw values. PSA 10, you go from an $11, $12 raw card to a $300 card. What's that markup? That's like over 2,500% or something. You guys can get your calculator out and do the math on that one. But whatever it is, that margin is through the roof. The Armor Rouge. Crazy. The Slowpoke, a $20 raw card, $369 in a PSA 10. This doesn't look like it's quite as difficult to grade as that Armor Rouge. Slightly difficult still. There's 212 PSA 10s, 750 PSA 9s, just under 300 PSA 8s. So 212 PSA 10s. But you go from a $20 card to a $370 card, guys. Again, what's that? It's like, I don't even know the numbers on that. It's like a $350 profit margin. You take away your grading costs, it's like, I don't know, $320 profit margin if you've got this card, or if you can pick it up in mint condition, if you can find one. I've been looking on eBay for a lot of these cards, guys, and every time I find one, the corners have got like a little white speck on them, like a nick. The edges are rough or damaged. It's like these are so hard to find online in just pristine condition to get them graded. I keep looking, guys, and I'm struggling. Hopefully you can have more luck than me. So where are we? Look, back in November, this was 120 in a PSA 10. It's tripled. The PSA 10 value has tripled since November, just in the last few months. This market is insane. Here's the Drowsy, guys. As I had on the thumbnail, the number one, as shown on the thumbnail, the number one chase card. Well, it's not really the number one chase card, but I suppose it is now. The number one card in a PSA 10, this Drowsy is going bananas. Who would have thought? The Drowsy from base set Scarlet and Violet. Who would have thought? Holy smokes. 310 of these in popular PSA 10s in circulation. Almost 900 PSA 9s, 891 exactly. 241 PSA 8s. Again, a common trend in this video is these are hard to get in 10s. They're hard to get in 10s, even though they're not the most expensive cards raw. If you can get a 10, congratulations, because the margins are insane. Like I said, you could be sitting on a gold mine if you've got these cards. $483 in a PSA 10. This is a $38 raw card, and it's worth like, what's that, 13, 14, 15 times more in a PSA 10, whatever it is. $445 gross profit, take out grading and postage. Maybe, what's that, 420? What did I say? About 420 gross profit, you know, after your grading costs. If you've got this card, and you've got perfect centering. Go inspect it now. See if you've got a 10. See if you've got a 10. Guys, this is the number one most expensive chase card when it comes to PSA 10s, specifically from Scarlet and Violet base. If we go back to August, this was a $75 PSA 10. $483 now. More than $400 capital growth in a PSA 10 in the last 6 months. And this graph is not showing any signs of slowing down. This thing is going to the moon and back. I'm not about to go and spend, 480 US dollars, which is like, what's that, 750 Australian dollars or something on a graded drowsy. I'm just not. I would rather buy booster boxes. But you know what? I wish I bought this 6 months ago on a PSA 10. I wish it was on my radar 6 months ago, because this thing has had $400+ growth in 6 months in the PSA 10. What do you think of this list, guys? Are you more interested in Scarlet and Violet base now, or do you still not care? To put it in perspective for you guys, the top 10 cards in Scarlet and Violet base in their raw condition, ungraded, add up to less than $300. It was about $280, $285, something like that, right? The top 10 chase cards, the top 10 graded PSA 10s rather, from Scarlet and Violet base, that list I've just shown you, add up to a total of $2,300. And some of the top 10 raw chase cards don't even make the top 10 PSA list. Are you more interested in Scarlet and Violet base now, or do you still not care? Thanks for watching the chase card, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.